episode of Vlad Sports Talk, man. Thank y'all for the support, the likes, the comments, everything that y'all been doing from the previous episodes. I keep on forgetting. I don't know why I always forget at the end of the episode. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I don't know why I always forget that, though. I don't know why I always forget that. But thank y'all first and foremost for y'all support, man. As I can see on my last episode, I had my cousin Perk on here, and he got his own podcast as well, too. So please show him some love. Parlay with Perk. Y'all can follow him on IG, PerkyPerk9. You feel me? Give him some love. The same love that y'all giving me, y'all please reciprocate that same love towards him. So yesterday was another week of football, week 11, and there's 6 more weeks left within the NFL season, which is crazy because it felt like the season just started literally just yesterday. The Dolphins did not play yesterday, but I do want to do a little, recap of the Miami Dolphins up until this point. So the Dolphins sit at 7-3, which I believe is tied for first place within the AFC East. The Bills won yesterday. They beat the Browns. So we're 7-3. The Bills are 7-3, and the Patriots beat the Jets. I know my boy Ricardo was happy about that, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. We'll talk about it a little bit later. For Miami, I can't be any more happy than what I'm seeing with Miami. I'm not content, but I'm happy right now. Because 2 years ago when Brian Flores came into our system, Brian Flores was a great coach. I don't care what nobody says, but, everybody who knows, like, if you're a Dolphins fan, you don't even got to be a Dolphins fan. If you watch the game closely and you see the interaction between him and Tua Tagovailoa, they didn't really seem to have a close, connection with each other. Not saying that every coach and QB has a close, relationship with each other, but it just seems like Brian Flores didn't fully believe in Tua Tagovailoa. You feel me? Tua coming out of, obviously we all know he coming out of Alabama. Coming into the league, he was hurt. Then, we're waiting on when he's going to play. Him and Ryan Fitzpatrick, they're splitting the snaps. The following year, Tua gets a full year to start. We went 9-8. This year into Tua's third year, there was a lot of questions surrounding Tua Tagovailoa. Is he the dude from Miami? Is he the franchise QB from Miami? We got Tyreek Hill in the trade from Kansas City, which I'll talk about, a little bit later. And who won that trade? Jalen Waddle is still there. Crazy. We got Jeff Wilson Jr. off of a trade from San Francisco. Got Raheem Mostert, Sherfield. You got Gesicki. Our defense already speaks for itself already. Tua was the main piece, the main reason, why people were so locked in on the Dolphins as to, okay, we know what they can do defensively, but offensively, the quarterback is a question. Even our offensive line, even what our offensive line was also in question as well too. We signed Teron Armstead from the New Orleans Saints. We gave him a 5-year deal. We added we beefed up a little bit within the offensive line, and the offensive line has been looking, a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's still some things we can improve on that front. But that Cleveland Browns game before we head into the bye week, Tua seemed like he had all day to throw the ball. Like Tua was just literally chilling in the pocket. Tua was making all the beautiful throws. The throws were on the money. They were spreading the ball around, being well balanced, running the ball and passing the ball. Like, I personally was happy just to see that offensively because I already know what we could do defensively. And we held Nick Chubb to, I believe, 63 yards. So the Dolphins are 7-3 up to this point. And like I said, I'm happy, but I'm not content because at the end of the day, there's still a lot of work to do. And with there being 6 more weeks in the season, people are looking at Miami as a dark horse, or you feel me, as a threat. I won't call us a contender just yet, just for my personal reasons, because it's like you still got Buffalo there, even though we did beat Buffalo early on in the season, 21-19. Baltimore is rolling right now. They won yesterday 13-3 against the Panthers. The Bengals, I still throw them in there, even though they don't have Jamar Chase, but I still put the Bengals up in there. The Kansas City Chiefs, obviously, and the Kansas City Chiefs won yesterday against the Chargers. They sweep that series against them too. Travis Kelce went crazy and had 3 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes is proving people wrong. People that said that Patrick Mahomes was going to fall off, he's proving them wrong. So Kansas City is in that conversation. So we're definitely in that conversation too to, be a dark threat or a dark horse, however you want to see it. But there's still some other teams that I will put ahead of Miami. I'm not going to put Miami out there first and be like, oh, we're going straight to the Super Bowl. Like, no, that's not, you feel me? Even though we are clicking on all cylinders, there's still some other teams that I will put before us. But overall, Mike McDaniel coming down here and bringing that West Coast offense down here to Miami, and not even that. Him and Tua, they have been clicking. They've been rolling since day one. Outside of the Tua Tagovailoa situation where Tua missed 3 games, due to the concussion and his head and whatnot, thank God that he's okay and he's back playing, because as you can see, how we are with Tua Tagovailoa under center as regards to Skylar Thompson and Teddy Bridgewater. No knock to them, but Tua is obviously our franchise quarterback. Tua is the better out of those two guys right there. You feel me? So when Mike McDaniel having that connection with Tua, you can see that Tua has a different swagger about him. Tua has a different, a different energy about him, a different vibe about him, and I'm loving it. Tua's popping his shit, and I'm loving every single minute of it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, when Tyreek came down here, he was speaking about Tua a lot, and in my head, I'm just like, yo, Reek, you just got here, fam. Like chill, like vibe, man. Like let Tua be Tua. Let Tua prove himself. But honestly speaking, like what Tyreek was saying, like he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. I mean, because Tua leads if you've been paying attention, Tua leads the league in QBR. He leads the league in NFL in NFL QBR. Tua comes first. Tua's stats on the season. Let me pull it up for y'all, man, so I can tell y'all. Tua's stats is he has 2,225 yards, 18 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. That is a great touchdown interception ratio. 18 TDs to 3 picks. And he's completing 71% of his passes. And like I said, Tua is first in NFL QBR. Also, with Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, 1-2 punch. Jalen Waddle has 51 catches for 878 yards, 6 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill, 81 catches, 1,148 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Tyreek is on pace to have 2,000 yards receiving. Yo, not gonna lie. If Tyreek Hill eclipses 2,000 yards receiving, that'll break Calvin Johnson's record, which he said a long time ago. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was 1,964. I could be wrong about that. But Calvin owns the NFL record for most receiving yards in the season. If Tyreek Hill this year, which I honestly would love to see because I love to see records broken. Records are meant to be broken at the end of the day. If Tyreek Hill breaks that record and gets 2,000 yards, do you know how big that'll be? Not only for Tyreek himself, but for the fact that he's doing it in the Dolphins uniform. You feel me? I mean, of course, if he was in Kansas City, I'll be happy. Be like, you feel me? That's still history at the end of the day. But it's even more special because I'm a Dolphins fan and I see a Dolphin, player break Megatron's record, and not even that you get 2,000 yards. We see 2,000 yard, running like 2,000 yard rushers. You got CJ 2K. You got Derrick Henry. You feel me? You got all these guys that rush for 2,000 yards within the season. Like we've seen that happen. Adrian Peterson. We seen that happen before. You feel me? Like it's nothing new to us. But a 2,000 yard receiver. Y'all hear how crazy that shit sounds? A receiver that has 2,000 yards receiving, like that's crazy. That should be right there and for an MVP candidate. Tua should be an MVP candidate, even though he did miss 3 games, which wasn't his fault. He should be an MVP candidate. Miami coming off of the bye week, we played the Houston Texans 8-3. I'm just gonna put it out like the Texans just lost to the Washington Commodores. They held Dameon Pierce to 10 carries for 8 yards. You see how wrong that? You see how crazy that sounds? Dameon Pierce, 10 carries for 8 yards. We're going to be good. Miami moving forward, I have a great feeling about Miami. Like I said, as long as we win the first round of the playoffs, I'll buy a jersey. I said that when I had my boy Sean and Maine on here. I said that, and I'll keep my word on that. I will buy a Miami Dolphins jersey. Until then, I'll stick with the jackets. I'll stick with the hats. I'll stick with the PJs. I'll stick with the socks. I'll stick with the slides. Everything. You feel like I'm not buying no jersey until we've passed the first round of the playoffs. But overall, I'm happy with what I'm seeing with Miami this year. Offensively, mainly offensively, because defense was never the question. Defense was never the question for Miami. For our offense, we're 3rd in total yards in offense. We're 2nd in passing yards in offense. 27th in rush yards. Well, we could be, a little better, but Jeff Wilson Jr., acquiring him does help us out. With him and Mostert, those two, speed backs, and Jeff Wilson is a power back. Like, that dude don't go down on the first hit. He don't. We're 6th in points, and then we're 10th in third down percentage. So our offense has definitely leaped from these past 2 years that we had Brian Flores. Like I said, no knock on Brian Flores, but Mike McDaniel is definitely showing like, he's working on that offense. Our defense basically speaks for itself. So our offense took a leap. Outside of those 2 years, this third year right here, Tua is proving that this is my team. This is my franchise. I belong here. So shout out to you, Tua. Shout out to you. But moving forward, man, going around the league yesterday, man, we had some games as we can see some some highlights. Like I said, the Washington Commodores beat the Houston Texans, but the Texans suck though, so I don't care. The Patriots and the Jets game, as my boy Ricardo was just here. He'll be back soon though. Y'all will see him and Rod next week. I'll see they got their own podcast as well too, Double R podcast, man. They gonna tell y'all more about that next week, but I'll have them both on here. But yes, the Patriots beat the Jets, another divisional game right there. It was in the fourth quarter with 26 seconds left. B-Man had a punt return for 84 yards. I gotta say B-Man. I gotta find his name. I gotta put some respect on that. I gotta put some respect on that boy name. Let me find his name for y'all real quick, man. I can't be doing him like that. I apologize for that. That's not proper etiquette right there. I can't find his name at the moment, but I'll get back to y'all on that shortly. But shout out to you, B-Man, because if it wasn't for you, I was honestly scared about the Jets. I was very, very scared about the Jets because I would say the only reason why I was scared about the Jets is basically their defense. It wasn't their offense, it was their defense. Because we know leading it with Sauce Gardner, we know what Sauce is the real deal. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, even though he's a rookie, Sauce is the real deal. And also them other defensive pieces that they got. But offensively is where the question is at. Because, my shout out to my boy Dennis. Like, Dennis been saying this, and me personally, I like to give people chances. I don't like to give up on people, you feel me? But Zach Wilson is trash. Zach Wilson he's terrible. Like, Zach Wilson is like, I don't normally call people trash, but Zach Wilson on the year, Zach Wilson has 1,279 yards. He's completing 55% of his passes. He has 4 touchdowns and 5 picks, and we're already 11 weeks in, about to head into the 12th week of the NFL. Like, if it wasn't for that Jets defense, the Jets would not be 6-4 right now. But yeah, the Jets definitely need to They need to They need to go back in and look at their quarterback position for sure, and reevaluate that. But Marcus Jones, you feel me? Not B-Man. Marcus Jones was the one who returned that punt for 84 yards for a touchdown with 5 seconds left. Shout out to you, Marcus Jones. I'm sorry for mixing up the name, man. Marcus Jones, shout out to you. Also within the league yesterday as well too, like I said, the Bills beat the Browns, which was expected, but they held Nick Chubb to, I believe, what they held Nick Chubb to? Nick Chubb was held to 19 yards. Nick Chubb ran the ball 14 times, and he was held to 19 yards. Last week, we held him to 63 yards. Nick is a lot better than this, bruh. Just last week, Dalvin Cook had over 100 yards against that Bills defense, if I'm not mistaken. Honestly speaking, I'll definitely go back and look, because I want to make sure I'm giving y'all the right information. I definitely want to make sure I'm giving y'all the right information. Yeah, Dalvin Cook had 119 yards, and we all know who Nick Chubb is and what he brings in and day out. But for Nick Chubb to have 19 yards, that's you feel me? The Bills defense is great. I know how great they are. I know what they are offensively, and offensively it didn't really seem like the same, Josh Allen. Like, it seemed like they're trying to make him play more conservative. Yesterday he was 18 to 27, 197 for 1 TD. He had 3 carries for 7 yards. They mainly ran the ball. Devin Singletary, 18 carries for 86 yards. James Cook had 11 carries for 86 yards. Knox had 7 catches for 70 yards. Davis had 5 catches for 68 yards. Stephon Diggs had 4 catches for 40 yards in the TD, and then Devin Singletary had 2 catches for 11 yards. So they was playing very conservative. The Baltimore Ravens, as I previously stated, with in the previous topic, they are rolling. They came in. It was a close game between them and the Panthers. It was only by 10 points. I just want to say this: Skip Bayless, give up on Baker Mayfield. It's time. It's time. It's time. Like, it's been time. I don't know why you keep on holding on, and he keep on talking about these throws. This 11-game stretch, this raw rookie, and bro, we don't care about none of that. Like Shannon always say, it's what you have done for me lately. And lately, what Baker Mayfield has done for me results into you losing your job. Like, I don't call for people's job. Like, there was one year I was hyping up Baker. I'm not going to lie. That was the year that they beat the Steelers in the playoffs because they was rolling that year. But Baker's not the same Baker no more. Like, you could see it. And it's not like they don't got, they don't got people for him to throw to. It just seemed like there's just a disconnect, you feel me, with Baker Mayfield on the field. I don't know. It's just time to give up. It's just really time to give up. Like, how you leave something on the stove for too long and then you check it and it's just burnt? Yeah, they just left Baker Mayfield on the stove for too long, and like you feel me, you can't do like look how long it took for him to get into a team, and now they're basically like Steve Wilkes is basically saying like they might resort to Sam Darnold. So you started off with Baker, Baker got hurt, went to PJ, then Baker came back, went back to Baker, and now you're going back to Sam. It's ridiculous, man. It's just a headache over there. Also, the Dallas Cowboys. Oh boy, Austin gonna like this, man. I'm gonna give my props. I'm definitely gonna give my props because the way that the Dallas Cowboys played yesterday, they played well offensively and defensively. Like we already know why the defense. You feel me? They talk about Micah from heaven. No, Micah Parsons, because that dude is the real deal. Michael Parsons he's scary good. Michael Parsons is scary good. But the main thing coming into here was Dak. And Dak yesterday had on a Dak had 22 or 25. He went 22 or 25, 276 with 2 touchdowns. Tony Pollard had 15 carries for 80 yards. Ezekiel Elliott 15 carries for 42 yards and 2 TDs. Tony Pollard caught 6 passes for 190 yards. CeeDee Lamb 5 for 45. Noah Brown 2 for 42. Michael Gallup 3 for 41. Dalton Schultz 3 for 22. And so on and so forth. Offensively and defensively, the Cowboys look like a very complete team. And not even that, the Vikings ain't no pushover. Because just like last week, me and my cousin Perk was talking about how we should put, respect on the Vikings. And the Vikings still deserve some respect, though. They did get their ass whooped yesterday. They lost by 37. Y'all did get your ass whooped yesterday. But at the end of the day, I still believe in the Minnesota Vikings because they're still they're still at the top of the NFC East. It's the Eagles and then it's them. So they're still at the top of the NFC East. You feel me? But yesterday, the Dallas Cowboys, if y'all can continue to keep on playing, a complete game like y'all did yesterday, I mean, shoot, who knows what's to happen? Because y'all know every year, bruh, every year they always say it's our year. We're going to the Super Bowl. And if they lose in the playoffs, so they lose out in the season, boy, it don't even be 10 minutes for another Cowboys season to be like next year. I'm like, well, damn, we're not even going to talk about what happened this year? But yes, yesterday, the Cowboys played their ass off, and I got to give them credit, man. I got to give them credit. Another surpriser, Detroit beat the New York Giants. That was disgusting. That was very disgusting. They held Saquon Barkley to 15 carries to 22 yards. Saquon Barkley ran the ball 15 times, and he only had 22 yards on the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions. The Giants are still 7-3, though. The Giants will definitely still make the playoffs, and I'll get into that a little bit later with Odell because as things are winding down, Odell said between the Cowboys and the Giants. I'll get into that a little bit after that. But really, 31-18 to the Lions. That's just weird. That's very weird. The Falcons beat the Bears. Cordell Patterson set the NFL kickoff return record touchdown with his ninth of his career. The Eagles won by a point. So they're 9-1 right now. They beat the Colts. The Rams beat the Saints. The Raiders and the Broncos, another divisional game. That game went into overtime. The Broncos just waived Melvin Gordon because he can't hold a loaf of bread to save his life. Melvin Gordon fumbled the ball too many times on my account. Like, I understand fumbles they're a part of the game. Fumbles, they come, like, you feel me? Like, it happens. But with Melvin, it doesn't seem like it happens. It seems like it always happens. Or when is it going to happen? Like I said, he can't hold on to a loaf of bread. At the end of the day, I understand that you're a professional football player, but bro, I'm just calling a spade, fam. Like, it don't even got to be me. Other people see it too. Like, I still believe probably some team will pick him up. I don't know who, but at the end of the day, like, teams are looking and be like, damn, this dude can't hold on to the ball. Like, you fumbled way too many times, Melvin. You fumbled way too many times. But the Broncos ended up losing in overtime against the Raiders. Devontae Adams on that post corner route, waving goodbye to the crowd. The Raiders, honestly speaking, before I get into my next point, the AFC West was a disappointment for me, honestly, overall. Outside of the Kansas City Chiefs, because I already knew what the Kansas City Chiefs was going to be. I told people that Patrick Mahomes was going to be better this year because we know what Tyreek Hill is. We know what he brings, as y'all can see how he's balling with us. And this ain't no knock on Tyreek, but with Patrick, with him losing a valuable piece like that in Tyreek Hill, a key piece like Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce is still there. Juju not a number one or a number two, but Juju having a pretty good season. Valdez Scantling have a pretty good season. They acquired Kadarius Toney from the New York Giants. Kadarius Toney can definitely help out on that side. Isaiah Pacheco, their running back, had a 100-yard game rushing against the Chargers last night. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I like him. That defense is the only question that I got for the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't question that offensive side, especially if you got 1-5. Especially if you got 1-5. I don't question that offense. I don't. But that defense, it's in question. It's definitely in question. But to speak more about, the Kansas City Chiefs, they beat the Los Angeles Chargers 30-27, which is crazy because the first time that they played the Chargers, at Arrowhead, they beat them 27-24. They beat them by 3 this time, beat them by 3 last time. Justin Herbert threw 2 crucial picks. Patrick Mahomes, 20 of 34, 329 yards for 3 touchdowns. Travis Kelce, 6 catches for 415 yards and 3 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes is spreading the wealth amongst everybody. You get a pass. You get a pass. You get a pass. You get a pass. You feel me? His name ain't Oprah, but hell, you could have fooled me. Patrick Mahomes is balling right now. And the main thing that I want to get into is cause at the beginning of the season when we traded for Tyreek Hill, we gave away all those picks and whatnot. I asked myself, who won this trade? Did Miami win this trade, or did Kansas City win this trade? And honestly speaking, in my opinion, who won this trade? Both of those teams won this trade. Why both of those teams won this trade? Because we see what Tyreek Hill does for Miami. Tyreek Hill makes everybody around him better. He makes Tua better. He makes Jalen Waddle better. He makes our offense better. You feel me? Tyreek makes everybody around him better. As you can see, that's why we're 7-3 right now. Tyreek is giving Tua that confidence, that booster builder. Yo, talk your shit, fam. It's okay. Let them people know that you here. You feel me? Let them know that you here. And also Kansas City won this trade. Why? Because Patrick Mahomes is still being Patrick Mahomes. Because when they lost Tyreek Hill, people were questioning, would Patrick Mahomes still be Patrick Mahomes? Who's going to be that number 1 receiver? Y'all don't know, number 87 is not there. We know what Travis Kelce is the number 1 receiver for the Kansas City. And not even that. Honestly speaking, Travis Kelce is the best tight end in football right now. Because I haven't heard much about, Darren Waller. He's been nicked up here and there. I haven't heard much about, George Kittle. Zach Ertz, he got nicked up. He's hurt. Travis Kelce deserves his respect. Travis Kelce deserves it. And when it's all said and done, Travis Kelce he's definitely a future Hall of Famer for sure. First ballot. Not even that. When it's all said and done, Travis Kelce could honestly go down as the greatest to do this game. With Gonzalez, Shannon Sharp, Antonio Gates, Rob Gronkowski. Travis Kelce is in that category. He's in that category now. When it's all said and done, he's definitely deserving to be in that category. And like I said, with Patrick Mahomes has been doing this since the first year he started. Now I see when he first came into the league, there was no knock on Alex Smith. 'Cause Alex Smith was a damn good quarterback. You feel me? But Patrick Mahomes is generational. Patrick Mahomes is just great. Patrick Mahomes is just amazing, man. You can't keep that dude on the bench. You can't keep not with that talent, man. You can't keep that dude on the bench. And like I said, that AC West with the Chargers and the Broncos and the Raiders. I'm thinking that the AFC West would have kind of looked like the AFC East, honestly speaking. Russell Wilson coming over to Denver, signing that contract extension. You got Judy, you got Hamler, you got Sutton, they the running back before Melvin Gordon, I forgot his name. I gotta remember Javonte Davis, I think that was his name. He was a damn good running back until he tore his ACL, and then they stuck with Melvin until they had to waive them. That defense is really good. That defense is really, really good. So Russell Wilson coming into that system, I'm thinking we're going to be Seattle Russ. And you see how Seattle is balling right now. Russ has been a disappointment this year. Let's just call it what it is. Russ has been a disappointment this year. They're 3-7 right now, Hopefully next year brings something better. But overall, Russ, you've been a disappointment this year. For the Raiders, their defense was always in question. I don't know what's going on with that defense. I don't know what's going on with the defense. But, with them acquiring Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow been nicked up here and there, and Hunter Renfrow doesn't really seem like the same to me this year. Darren Waller, like I said, he been nicked up. Josh Jacobs, I ain't gonna even question that because I know what Josh brings. Derek Carr's he's a pretty good quarterback. I'm not gonna call him. He's a pretty good quarterback, but they're also 3-7 as well too. Like they made the playoffs last year and lost to the first round to the Cincinnati Bengals. So I would expected more from the Las Vegas Raiders, especially acquiring Devontae Adams from the Green Bay Packers. Like, what? Come on, man. 3-7 ain't it? And the Chargers, Herbert. I'm not gonna place all that blame on Herbert because, like I said, offensively, defensively, like it's just problems all over the place, But for them to be 5-5 right now, they're in second place in that division. But she lost to the Chiefs twice, which, like I said, it was expected. Come on, bro. As long as you got 1-5, I ain't gonna do that. Just like that's like 1-2 in Tampa. I ain't betting my money against them. I learned my lesson the hard way. I ain't finna do it. I ain't even gonna do it. But yeah, man. This NFL season, honestly speaking, like I said, we got 6 more weeks left within the NFL season. And so far, for my MVP, bro, Patrick Mahomes is on pace right now, man. Patrick Mahomes is on pace right now to win that MVP. Like I said, you could throw Tua in there. You could throw Jalen Hurts in there. Josh Allen, he'll find his way back into that conversation, in there as well, too. You feel me? Tyreek Hill should definitely be in there because if that dude gets 2,000 yards, at least give him a mention in there. Or hell, if he gets 2,000 yards, I mean, hey, between him and Patrick, hey, sorry, Patrick, but ain't no receiver like, you feel me, ever had 2,000 yards. But, from what I'm seeing from the AFC, it's just crazy. The NFC, Eagles is balling. Cowboys, they bounce back. Giants, they lost to the Lions, but, they're still 7-3. They're at the top. Tampa Bay, they won 2 straight. They seem like they're starting to find they place again, but I'm still not too fond of them. I'm not going to be like, oh, they're back. Like, no, I need to see more from Tampa Bay. I need to see more from Tampa Bay moving forward. Like, I know who Tom Brady is. I know who Mike Evans is. Even with even with Chris Godwin, I know who he is. But he's been shaky. He's been shaky. You feel me? Like he still look like he's still coming. Like he's still dealing with that ACL. Like even though he is. We've been 11 weeks into the season. Like he's still, you feel me? The Rams, terrible, and you just lost Cooper Kupp for 6 to 8 weeks, which is basically the season. There's 6 weeks left. He's gone for the season. And Matthew Stafford had a concussion. Hopefully you okay, Matthew. Hopefully you good. I never want to see no players hurt. But for the Rams to win the Super Bowl last year and coming into this year and be this big of a disappointment, this big of a failure, this big of a letdown, something that's not right. That's honestly not right. The Cardinals, another team, like the Packers, I didn't expect the Packers to be like, of course, the same because, once you let Devontae Adams go, you feel me? Like, it's like, damn, like you can't replace Devontae, but I didn't expect the Packers to be this bad. Like, they got some issues on defense too, but like, damn, you feel me? So the NFL overall, honestly, it's been a lit year, man. It's been a lit year. I could say it is kind of biased because, like I said, I'm a Miami fan and I'm happy, but I'm not content with what I see. I'm happy, but I'm not content with what I see. But moving forward, I'm very excited for thus far throughout the season and seeing what Miami can do throughout the rest of the season. Because moving forward, our schedule, we got the Texans as a dub, 49ers, Chargers, Bills, Packers, Patriots, Jets. Oh boy. 49ers, Chargers, Bills, Packers, Patriots, Jets. I'm looking forward to that Chargers game though, because I know when it was the NFL draft and teams, we had the 5th round, we had the 5th pick, and then it was between Herbert and Tua. And me personally, I didn't give a damn. I didn't give a damn as long as Miami drafted a quarterback with that 5th pick. I didn't really give a damn, and which we did. And at the time, people was giving up on Tua, saying like, he's not the right pick, and they was crowning Justin Herbert as basically the chosen one. And not even that, coming into this season, like they was crowning Herbert and Josh Allen to basically surpass Patrick Mahomes. We see how that's working out. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that Chargers game, definitely, for sure. And also this week, before we even get into that, Odell Beckham Jr., OBJ, because I seen this on my homeboys podcast, with Rod and Ricardo about where's OBJ finna go? That's a tough one for me right there. I ain't gonna lie, because I know that I seen reports that he narrowed it down between the Cowboys and the Giants. Obviously, before I seen Chiefs, I seen Giants, I seen Bills. I see many different teams for OBJ. Me personally, as much as I would hate it, but it would definitely make sense. I would like to see Odell Beckham go to the Cowboys. Either the Cowboys or the Buffalo Bills. And the reason why I say the Buffalo Bills, because me personally, I think that OBJ would be a great number 2. Hey, that's no shade on Gabe Davis, but Gabe Davis, he really be dropping too much balls for my liking, for me, honestly speaking, and he be inconsistent. Stephon Diggs is the bona fide number 1. Like that, he's the bona fide number 1 receiver on that team. Odell could definitely be number 2 behind Stephon Diggs, and Gabe Davis number 3. Cowboys, because I'm still not sold on CD being a number 1, but CD is their number 1 technically speaking. You add Odell into that offense, CD, you got Odell, you still got Michael Gallup, you got Noah Brown, you feel me, like Schultz, like you got is Tony Pollard and Zeke in the backfield. I like that. So I don't think he necessarily needs to go to the Chiefs unless if he wants to, but I don't think it's a necessity because the Chiefs are rolling right now. They got everything that they need. They do, if they want to add some people, like add a huge name on defense, they can do that. But offensively, the Chiefs are good where they at. The Packers, if they wasn't booty this year, then maybe he would have went to the Packers. If the Packers did not suck this year, maybe he would have went to the Packers. But he said between the Cowboys and the Giants. And honestly, if I'm Odell Beckham Jr., I'll go to Dallas. I'll go to Dallas just because I didn't like the way how his thing was handled in New York. How they let him go and how they basically like outed him at towards the end. You feel me? But it would make sense, just to go back home to the Big Apple. But at the same time, I feel like Dallas is the best shot for Odell. I do feel like it's the best shot for Odell. You feel me? And teams will hopper on that name because we know who Odell Beckham is when he's healthy. It's unfortunate he tore his ACL within the Super Bowl. He had like 2 catches for 53 yards in a touchdown. So it's unfortunate that happened. But if I'm Odell Beckham Jr., definitely go to the Cowboys. I feel like the Cowboys is the best fit for him because they're already great defensively. Like the Cowboys do have a great defense. Their run defense sucks, but overall, I do like the Cowboys defense, and offensively, if you add Odell Beckham Jr., it'll definitely help. So moving on, before we get into a little bit of basketball, we got Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday. I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving first and foremost. Hope y'all enjoy y'all food. Enjoy y'all pumpkin pie, y'all sweet potato pie, y'all turkey. Even if y'all Haitian, Jamaican, Indian, Chinese, Japanese, whatever it is, Trinidad and Tobago, Brazilian, whatever wherever you from for across the world, enjoy Thanksgiving with the people that you love the most, man. Enjoy Thanksgiving with your friends, enjoy Thanksgiving with your family, enjoy with your spouse, whoever is with. At the end of the day, don't be alone on Thanksgiving. Like be around people that you love. Be around, people that comfort you. And what's even better on Thanksgiving is that we got Thanksgiving football. So we got Buffalo and Detroit, we got New York and Dallas, which is a divisional game. And we got Minnesota and New England. So we got 3 games to look for. I got 3 games to look forward to. My sports fans out there, y'all got 3 games to look forward to as well too. That's the best time. That's the best. And not even that, on Christmas this year, we're gonna have Christmas. We're gonna have football games on Christmas as well too. So ain't nothing better than shoving your face in some food and having some football to watch. You feel me? Ain't nothing better. Not a better feeling. There's not a better feeling. You got food. You got pie. You got liquor. And you got football. It don't get no better than that. But to move forward, to end it off with some basketball talk. Yesterday, my Miami Heat are 7-10 now on the season. And as Perk was here last weekend, he made an excellent point saying, with us is up and down. You feel me? Like 1 year we have a good year, 1 year we have a bad year. Like, you feel me? Like I didn't disagree with him on that because we do have some lingering issues on our team. Yesterday we lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers, which I said previously, like, I love that trade that they did with D-Mitch from Utah. Like, I love that trade. Like, him and Garland, Jared Allen, like, Karis LeVert, Mobley, like, them boys are balling. You feel me? Evan Mobley, them boys are balling. I like that. And they beat us yesterday 113-87, which was Ridiculous. Just terrible. That thing was just terrible. You know, Bam gave us 21. Caleb Martin gave us 17. Dedman gave us 10. And that's pretty much it. We got 7 from Jokovic, 9 from Laurie, 8 from Strus, 0 from Highsmith. Duncan Robinson had 7 points, which I've seen that apparently that he's in trade talks. Go. I ain't even going to admit that. Like, Ale no. Like, go. I don't even care, bro. Duncan, giving him that 5-year, $95 million deal, like, it just seemed like, I don't know. It just seemed like with players in Miami, after we give them that big contract, it just seemed like they don't know how to play basketball no more. Hassan Whiteside is another one, too. You feel me? Because before the contract, we seen what Hassan Whiteside was doing night in and night out. That boy got his deal. He don't know how to play no more. You feel me? Tyler lived up to he's living up to his contract. I know he's been nicked up, here and there, but Tyler's definitely living up to his contract. And I mean, we know what Jimmy Butler brings in night in and night out. But yeah, yesterday was just a tragedy. Like yesterday, we know we shot 19% from 3. They out rebounded us 40-39. They had 31 assists. We had 17. We turned the ball over 16 times, which isn't bad. They turned it over 19 times, which is not bad. But points in the paint, they had 50. We had 40. Fast break points, they had 12. We had 6. Points off turnovers, which is a key thing in basketball, they had 28. We had 23. Their biggest lead was 32. Like they was blowing us out. They was really blowing us out. So, and we played tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So hopefully tonight Miami can bounce back because, like I said, 7-10. That's 17 games already into the season, which we still have a lot of games left to be played. Like the season is far from over. It's far from over, and I still believe in my Miami Heat. I'm never like whenever our backs was against the wall, that's when we answer the most. That's when we show people that who we are the most. So, hopefully, like, we will get things rolling. I do believe we will get things rolling. It's still, like I said, there's 82 games in the season. The season's not going today. It's not going tomorrow. It's not going next week. Like, we're going to get rolling. I promise. I guarantee you that we're going to get rolling. So, also tonight, we got the Hawks and the Cavaliers. We got the Magic and the Pacers. You feel me? The Warriors and the Pelicans. Hey, shout out to Clay, boy. The other night, I forgot which team they was playing, but Steph had no drop the 50 ball. The other night, Clay dropped 41. That's the OG Splash Brother right there, man. And, he said give him some time, which is true because, he's coming off of 2 gruesome injuries. Give Clay some time. Give my boy some time, man. But Clay, shout out to you, fam. Shout out to you. That dropping 41 points, shout out to you, fam. So I definitely gotta acknowledge that, man. I definitely do. With Steph dropping 50 the other night, Clay dropping 41, the Warriors, they still need to help around on that defensive end, you feel me? But I still feel like the Warriors gonna be the Warriors. I still feel like they'll still be in the mix of things, when it comes down to it. So, and also also within, in NBA news, the Lakers are on a 2-3 game win streak. They're like 5-10 right now, even though you're still under 500. But they've been winning a couple of games, and AD has, I don't know if he's been listening, but AD has definitely been upping up his play. I'm not even going to much lie to you. AD has definitely been upping up his play. He's been dropping like back-to-back. I think it was back-to-back 30-point games, double figures. So AD has been, it's not a surprise to me because we all know what Anthony Davis is capable of. We know who he was in New Orleans, coming into the league. And, before he even got to LA, even when he got to LA, when he won that championship, like, AD has to be that person, not just, for a short amount of time and then you take a backseat. Like, no, you got to be that guy. There's no disrespect towards LeBron, but LeBron is about to be, 38 in December? LeBron will be back soon, but LeBron can't carry everything like he was, 18, 19, 25, 26. Like, no, LeBron can't do it on both ends of the court no more. You feel me? So, as my cousin asked me last week, like, what's their season? And I said, with a straight face, it's about LeBron breaking the record. I do hope that the Lakers can make the playoffs, though, because they did make the playoffs in the past couple of years. And Lakers fans, as big of a franchise that is, Lakers fans don't deserve that. Lakers fans don't deserve that. You feel me? It's not like it's a small franchise, like a Timberwolves franchise, or you feel me, or like a Jazz franchise or anything like that. Like, the Lakers aren't a small franchise. So I do hope that the Lakers can at least make the playoffs. At least that. You feel me? I feel like Lakers fans deserve. I feel like y'all deserve that. I do feel like that y'all deserve that, man. Like, seriously speaking, I want to see LeBron break the record. first and foremost, and I want to see y'all make the playoffs at least. If it's a first round bounce, then it is what it is. But at least make the postseason, at least. But Anthony Davis, the way that you playing right now, keep that play up until, you feel me, even when LeBron comes back, keep that play up. Don't stop. Don't take your foot off the gas pedal, fam, because they're looking towards you. They're looking toward, even though yes, we know who LeBron is. We know exactly. We know who 20. We know who that man is. We know. You feel me? We know who number 6 is. But for you, Anthony, you have to you got to be that same dude night in and night out. Keep on doing it, AD. It can't just be 2 or 3 games and it's just like, all right, I done with it. Like, no, you guys are sitting at 5-10 right now. Keep it up. You know, Darvin Ham, it seems like they're starting to figure things out a little bit more. Russ is starting to seem like he's starting to get a little bit more comfortable. You know, like I said, him going to that bench role definitely increased his trade value for sure. If they still do plan on trading him, which I'm pretty sure they are going to still trade him for sure. You feel me? But at the end of the day, AD, keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing. So, like I said, the NBA season is far from over. Far from over. I'm not even finna get into the finals or, you know, Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference Finals, MVP. Like, I'm not going to get into that just yet because we have a long season ahead of us. We got a long season ahead of us. But I am expecting Miami to pick up the pace, though. I am expecting Miami to, you know, stop losing, you know, these meaningless games. Outside of the Cavaliers are a meaningless team. Like I said, like, them boys are, they like that. Them boys are like that. But Miami needs to start losing to, you know, meaningless teams because it hurts us in the end. You know, so I definitely do expect better for Miami moving forward because we know what the Heat culture is. If you're a Heat fan, you know, you expect better from Miami because we've been, you know, even on our down years, you know, we still expect the best from our team. We still expect the best from, like, we don't expect, like, anything less but the playoffs from Miami. Like, even if we miss the playoffs, like, you know, do the best that you can. Because anytime that outside of this season with the Dolphins, the Heat always had my back. Always had my back. I can always rely on the Heat to heal my heart pain. You feel me? Heat, Hennessy, and, you know, I'm good with that. There we go. Double H. Heat and Hennessy. Those are my 2 pain remedies right there. Whenever the Dolphins break my heart, you know, they don't make the postseason and they're having a terrible season, I got the Miami Heat and I got a bottle of Hennessy right next to me. Double H. Take my advice. You won't be sorry about it. So, with that being said, man, we concluded the end of the podcast, man. Thank y'all for tuning into another podcast. Make sure y'all like, y'all comment, y'all subscribe. Shout out to Dream Cloud Studios first and foremost. Shout out to my boy Ricardo, who I said will be on here next week with him and my boy Rod. You know, I let them boys tell them more about, you know, their podcast, Double R Podcast for sure. So y'all make sure y'all give that a follow. Shout out to Juan as well too. Shout out to my family, my friends. Shout out to my girl. Just shout out to everybody. Y'all be safe. Happy Thanksgiving and enjoy your holidays.